All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right, special order of business. We have appointments to Parks and Recreation Board, appointments to Planning Commission, and appointments to Planning Commission. So, we'll start with 5, appointment to Parks and Recreation Board, Robert Scotten, I'm sorry.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
We have 3 appointments to make tonight, to the Planning Commission, 1 to Parks and Rec Board. Are these the only applicants we have for these positions?
Well, as far as... I'm sorry.
I understood that we had lots of applications for the open positions. I just want to make sure that these are all the Parks and Rec Board applications we have at this time, and these are all the Planning Commission, or are these the recommendations of the?
I can speak to the Planning Commission side. I don't have any information on Parks and Rec. I had 3 applications to review. We've interviewed 1 that I would recommend. Councilor Davis and I interviewed. So we still have 1 more, and we have 3 openings on planning, correct? Yeah, because we had to fill Mr. Kidd's and Mr. Davis's spot. Yeah, so we have 3 appointments to make. We have 2 here presently, and we've, however, the process is we've sent it to City Manager Chandler to bring up our recommendation at the next one. As far as parks, I don't know.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
In the past, when there have been multiple applicants, a committee of the council has been appointed to interview all of the applicants, and then they make a recommendation to the council.
Right.
Okay. I guess that's what my question was. Have all the applicants to the Planning Commission been interviewed and considered?
No. Yes and no. There's
still have more.
Right. There are still 2 that have not been interviewed for planning. Now, the 3 that I have, Councilor Norikis asked me to get involved on. Gave me the courtesy of interviewing 3 of them. So that's why I have 3 at his recommendation. So, and we've interviewed 1 that I would recommend highly.
I want all the applicants to be considered.
Absolutely.
Before we make.
Absolutely. Are you comfortable going forward with these, or would you prefer that all the interviews be complete before we move forward with those? No, I can't speak to Parks and Rec at all.
At this point, I don't have the list of, we have like 18 applications. We have basically only 1 person on the Parks Board right now, so they can't even meet.
Who is that? Okay.
Scotty.
And how many openings do we have?
We have 6 openings on the Parks Board.
6 on Park, okay.
And I'm not sure that we have enough applications to fill all of those, but we do have quite a few.
Okay.
Joey Arcetoris is the only active member now on the Park Board. And Scotty Scotten has served several terms, I believe, and his term expired, so that's why he is up for.
Okay, and then just so I'm clear, because this is why I'd asked City Manager Chandler for clarification on appointments to commissions. Now, is this mine to make recommendations for the Parks and Rec Board, or is that a separate commission that I'm looking for some guidance here?
Well, there's 2 parts to it. First of all, appointments to committee in our charter is given to the power of the mayor.
And that is a committee?
Yeah.
Or is that a board? Is that separate?
It says boards, commissions, and committees.
All right, thank you.
And then in 2011, we adopted a policy whereby 2 council members and a member of the committee would then be go through the applications, decide on who would be interview, and then make the recommendation to the city council. I looked to see what was happening before that. That process has been going on for at least 15 years. It predates Mr. Hawker, so we've been doing it for quite some time. It was formalized in April of 2011. So and then in January of this year, Councilman Norikis and Councilman Davis were asked to be the two council members that would review the applications and then interviews and make their recommendations.
For planning.
As I understand, it was for all of it.
For all of them.
For all of it.
And that includes the Parks and Rec.
Yes.
Now, are you guys board with that? You still good with that?
No, what was that? Repeated, the last part I missed.
That you and Councilman Norikis would be the representatives from the City Council to review the applications for all of the committees, boards, and commissions.
Right, and I had last week, I wasn't feeling real well, so I had Kip take over for me last week and did interviews with
Parks and Rec and Planning.
Okay, all right. Keeping things clear. So then I guess the question back to Councilor Walkie is, have you interviewed everyone? We're still in the process, and it doesn't really matter because we've got 6 and we've got 1 here, so. Okay, so you're comfortable? You don't have to be.
As long as I want to consider everyone who's applied before we fill spots. Doesn't sound like we're...
Okay.
The one thing that, as far as the planning commissioner, I'd really like to see all the applicants. I did have a chance to talk with Mr. Hoover in my office about 2 weeks ago, and I never got back to Chester to go over it. But the other thing is I'd like to see a few people that know something about the ordinance going to the planning commission. So I'd like to see the whole list.
But we only have 2 more left to interview, correct? Those are the other 2 I'm holding? 2 of the 3?
With the Planning Commission?
Yes.
I believe you have the remaining applicants.
Okay.
Okay.
So your recommendation, concern is that we hold off on appointments until those last 2 are done? Or are you comfortable moving ahead with these 2?
Well, we might as well move these 2. If there's 3
Because we have 1
positions
more
open.
spot available. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, then we've gone through that then. So for 5, 6, and 7, do we have to do these separately?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I move that we appoint the 3 applicants that are listed in the agenda, Robert Scotton, Dennis Riley, and Diana Hinton.
Okay. And that's cool to do all 3 at once? A little guidance. It doesn't have to be separate.
Doesn't have to be, but if
Okay,
you want to
real
do
good.
it
Hey,
that way,
guys,
that's
new to the show here, just asking the question. All right, so we have a motion then for to appoint all of the parties recommended. Looking for a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moved.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
if I could make a comment.
Yes, please.
Mr. Hoagland has applied, and sounds like we've accepted his application for the Planning Commission, along with Deanna Hinton. And I feel both of these people are very qualified, and I'm grateful that they have come forward to volunteer and contribute their knowledge and expertise to helping us run the city. And Mr. Scotton has been on the Parks and Rec Board for years and years and years, and he's not burned out yet. And he has a history of that board, and he has a history of Parks and Rec program, so I'm pleased that he has applied as well. So thank you all.
Thank you so much for applying. We do appreciate that.
I would, it's like, Mr. Mayor, I was fortunate enough to get to sit in on the interview, and I have to say that the quality of applicants that we received was outstanding. I mean, I have no idea where these people, I guess I do have a little idea where they came from since I saw their resume, but I was astounded at just how great they were.
Thank you. Okay, moving along. I'm going to give you folks just a little heads up. We're going to play a little musical chairs here for the deliberation on Logan Park because Councilor